Hello and welcome to the Frank Fryer channel. I am the Frank Fryer, aka Father Nicholas, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the gift of meekness. Now, why do I want to talk about meekness? Well, one, it's important to the Sermon on the Mount, for it is the meek that shall inherit the earth, Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. But also there's been an experience recently in my life that I wanted to reflect upon in order to help you all out there that follow me on social media. And one of the active parts of my ministry right now within the order is I do a lot of work in education. My parish I work at here in New York City, we have 2 K through 8 schools, and we also have a weekend REP, religious education program, through the parish. So I work at both schools, and I also help out with the religious education program. Now, a part of that Sunday program, I work with the special needs kids, and we have one student there who's just a wonderful kid, great kid, always attentive, always listening, following directions, but he just has this amazing, joyful energy that just fills a room. And sometimes in the midst of all this energy, he can get a little bit out of control. That's kids though. But I've noticed that with this child, that whenever he comes up to me and he says, "Father Nicholas, can I have a blessing? Father Nicholas, can you pray for me?" Suddenly all this energy, all this force that he has inside of himself, he just gets it under control. He closes his eyes, he puts his hands together, and he says, "Father, will you pray for me?" And just for a few seconds, he has this amazing sense of control over himself. And as I look at this behavior and I reflect on the actions of this little child in my life, I can't help but see within him this gift of meekness, this ability to control oneself and all the power and the strengths and the gifts that one has. And I think it was St. Francis de Sales who talked about meekness as being a stallion. You know, the stallion has this natural force, and a stallion that can be able to stop on a dime. You know, that in that example is meekness. And in that example, that child is this meekness. And I see, you know, through social media, people sort of going after each other and trying to, you know, this thing about the church and that thing about the church, or this thing about social life and that thing about social life. And I just see this fighting back and forth, and this person yelling their perspective and that person yelling their perspective, you know, acting however it is that they feel in their conscience that they have to act. I'm not making any sort of judgmental statements here, but I'm reflecting on what if we all responded with meekness in that moment, that we slow down, we get ourselves and our passions and our strengths and our gifts under control. We give in that moment of meekness an act of charity to the other by giving them the benefit of the doubt and listening to them. And then in this sense of control that comes from meekness, we are able to fully reflect and give our opinions to the other in a loving and compassionate and charitable way. Imagine if we all could respond like that, if we all could act like that, how much more better our world would be. You know, we would really start to see glimpses of the kingdom of heaven here and now. And I talk about meekness because I myself struggle with it. You know, I'm not the most meek person in the world. I'm very extroverted. I can be somewhat of hot temper. If you ever see me driving in New York City, watch out, be careful. You know, my gift of, you know, for lack of a better word, this anger that I have inside of me has really helped me to stand up for people that, you know, that are being picked on, that are being bullied, that are being sort of belittled, you know, that are being torn down. And I stand up and I say, no, that's not okay. As Christians, we don't treat people like that. That child, that person that you're trying to tear down is very important to God. It is either a brother or a sister of mine, and I will not tolerate this behavior from you. You know, and that comes from this gift of anger that I have, but without that meekness, you know, sometimes my mouth can get me into trouble. So I don't want this video to be very long, but I just want it to be an introduction for you to maybe think about, where is meekness in your life? How can you cultivate meekness in your life? Are you a meek person? How do you display that to other people? I'm not giving a treatise on what meekness is. There's many different great writings on what it is. Look at Father Gabriel, who wrote The Divine Intimacy. He has chapters just on meekness and its relationship to the gifts of the Spirit, the other gifts of the Spirit. What I'm trying to do today is put forward my experience as a way of helping you to maybe think about what meekness is and how it can help you in your life as a Christian disciple, and as we journey together in this world we have received, because it is, as Matthew teaches us in the gospel through the Sermon on the Mount. It is the meek that shall inherit the earth. The Lord has put us here to cultivate his kingdom, to make his presence known. And we can only do that through the gift of meekness, by keeping and allowing ourselves to stay under control of the Spirit, so we don't set the world aflame with fires of anger and etc. So as you go forward, I hope and I pray that this gift of meekness may be given to you in your life, and if it's there, that you may begin the actions necessary to cultivate it. So if you liked the video today and if you found it helpful, please give it a like and please subscribe to my channel. It really does help other people find me when they search for my name or the words that I have tagged on my channel on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button. There should be a little thing on the screen. Now, also, if you want to follow more of my content, please visit my website, thefrankfriar.com. There on my website, you can find my weekly blog. You can find links to my podcast. You can also find pictures from my journeys from around the world. Also, if you want to reach out to me, there's a contact page. You can send me messages through that if you want me to pray for something or if you need help or guidance. There's also a vocation tab if you're discerning a vocation to religious life or to priesthood, or if you're a woman looking at the convent, or if you're looking at different vocations in your life. Click on that tab, fill out the information, send it to me. I'm happy to help you. You don't have to go through your discernment alone. There's people in this world to help you. So again, all of this can be found at my website, thefrankfriar.com. I hope you find it helpful and beneficial for your spiritual life. Know that I'm praying for you. Know that I'm with you. Know that I love you. Take care and God bless.